You've done the hard work. You've spent decades saving into your 401k, maybe a Roth IRA, even built up a balance in your HSA and taxable accounts. But now you're staring down the big question. When I retire, which account do I take money from first? Because here's what most people don't realize. The order you withdraw from in these accounts isn't just a detail. Get it wrong, and you could pay far more in taxes, trigger higher Medicare premiums, or even cause more of your Social Security to get taxed. But get it right, and you could stretch your savings years longer and keep thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands more in your pocket. And the IRS isn't going to map this out for you. That's why today I want to show you how to use your 401k, Roth IRA, and HSA together to create a smart, tax-efficient income plan for retirement. Hi, I'm Nathan Sealey with Brass Ring Wealth Management. If you find this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and book a time using the link in the description. If you like a tailored game plan for your situation, let me know. Let's dive in. The problem with default withdrawals. Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes I see. Most retirees assume they'll just pull money from their 401k or IRA first because that's where most of their savings are. It seems simple, but here's the problem. Every dollar you withdraw from a traditional 401k or IRA is taxed as ordinary income. And if you're not careful, you can actually push yourself into a higher tax bracket. You can trigger IRA surcharges, which raise your Medicare premiums and cause more of your Social Security benefits to be taxed. This is what I call the tax domino effect. One wrong move with withdrawals can set off a chain reaction that costs you thousands in unnecessary taxes over the course of your retirement. And here's the kicker. The IRS isn't going to warn you about this. They're perfectly fine if you pay more than you need to. That's why it's so important to step back and ask, how do I coordinate all of these accounts so I keep more of my money working for me? Know your account types and know how they're taxed. Before we talk strategy, let's break down how these accounts work in retirement. A traditional IRA or 401k, these accounts are tax deferred. You didn't pay taxes when you put the money in, but now every withdrawal is taxed as regular income. Once you hit age 73, the IRS forces you to start taking required minimum distributions whether you need the money or not. Roth IRA or Roth 401k accounts, these are tax-free in retirement. Since you already pay taxes on the contribution, withdrawal of the earnings are completely tax-free if you're over 59 and a half and the account has been open for at least 5 years. Health savings accounts. This is one of the most powerful tools in retirement if used correctly. Contributions are pre-tax, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax-free. After age 65, you can even use HSA funds for non-medical expenses, but you'll pay ordinary income tax on those withdrawals. Taxable brokerage accounts. These don't have tax advantage going in or out, but they're flexible. You'll pay taxes on dividends, interest, and realized capital gains, but with the right strategy, you can often take advantage of lower long-term capital gains rates. Each of these accounts behaves differently, and that's why blindly withdrawing from them in any order can create serious tax inefficiencies. So, what's a strategic withdrawal order? How do you decide which account to pull from first? Here's a framework many high-income retirees use to maximize income and minimize taxes. First, spend from your taxable brokerage accounts. These accounts get no tax deferral, and selling investments here often means paying long-term capital gains tax, which is usually lower than ordinary income tax. By using these funds early, you give your tax advantage accounts more time to grow. Second, consider partial Roth conversions in your early retirement years. If you retire before taking Social Security or before required minimum distributions kick in, your income may be unusually low for a few years. This creates an opportunity to shift money from tax-deferred accounts to Roth accounts at a lower tax rate. Next, start withdrawing from your tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks, but do it strategically. The goal is to avoid taking out so much in 1 year that you're bumped into a higher tax bracket. Fourth, save your Roth accounts for last. Roth IRAs grow tax-free, have no RMDs, and make excellent reserves for unexpected expenses later in retirement. They're also one of the best accounts to leave your heirs because withdrawals are tax-free for them too. Lastly, use your HSA for medical costs. You can save your medical receipts and reimburse yourself tax-free years later, or use HSA funds for qualified expenses as they come up. This isn't about being overly complex. It's about sequencing withdrawals in a way that keeps more money in your pocket and stretches your savings. So, why this matters? Here's a real-life example. Imagine you're 65 years old with $1 million in a 401k, $250,000 in Roth, $200,000 in a taxable brokerage account, and $50,000 in an HSA. If you decide to spend down your 401k first, you could push your taxable income so high you're paying more in federal taxes, triggering higher Medicare premiums and causing up to 85% of your Social Security to be taxed. But if you start with your taxable brokerage account and do small Roth conversions each year before age 73, you could keep your tax brackets lower and move money into tax-free accounts for later. This type of planning can save you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of taxes in your lifetime. And more importantly, it gives you the confidence of knowing where your retirement paycheck is coming from every year. So, customize your plan. Here's the key takeaway. There's no one-size-fits-all withdrawal order. The best strategy depends on your income needs, tax bracket, timing of Social Security, healthcare costs, even whether or not you want to leave assets to your family. For some people, drawing from their 401k first makes sense because they need to bridge the gap before Social Security starts. For others, Roth conversions in their 60s save tens of thousands in taxes later. And for business owners or those who have large taxable accounts, capital gains planning becomes critical to avoid unnecessary tax spikes. This is why smart retirees don't leave this to chance. They take time to coordinate their investments, taxes, and income streams so every dollar works harder for them. Again, the IRS isn't going to do this for you, but with proper planning, you can turn what feels like a messy mix of accounts into a clear, predictable income plan. The order you withdraw from your accounts isn't just a detail. It's one of the most powerful ways to stretch your retirement savings and keep more of it working for you. But every situation's different. If you want to see which strategies could help you the most from your IRA, Roth, 401k, and HSA, please talk. Click the link in the description, schedule a strategy call. We'll review your accounts, your goals, and help you design a tax-smart income plan that fits your life. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you know who's preparing for retirement. Thanks for joining.